Hey guys, it's Graham. What's cracking? Today's discussion subject is the role that AI can play in art creation, and I'm sure I've already lost half of you. Just hear me out. And how you quote unquote put yourself into your books. This old lady almost just rear-ended me and hit my pristine 2008 Dodge Durango. Anyway, um, my wife has encouraged me. She says, like, you could do a picture book. And I was like, I don't know, man. Some of these picture books are actually, I didn't say man to her. I said, whatever. Uh, some of these picture books are more psychologically complex than just, hey, here's a couple of pictures and some words and whatever. Like, we buy those Mo Willems books. We bought them for our kids ever since they were little. The pigeon books or the Elephant and Piggy. And, like, there are some higher level thought processes that my kids can wrap their heads around, like, this is elephant trying to talk himself out of doing something that he knows he should do, and here's a whole list of excuses, but in the end he knows he should still do it. Things like that. Like, okay. We go walk through the library one day, and there was this kid's picture book of like, or which animal's poop is this or something, and it was like pictures of different animal scat, and I was like, okay, maybe I can do a picture book. But the thing about art is that, like, it's got to have, like, really that personal touch that an AI just can't generate. Like, an AI can crib from things and copy from things, but if you sit down and you ask an AI, like, hey, give me 5 different kind of plot ideas for a sci-fi or something, and it'll regurgitate things that if you look at it, you'd be like, okay, this piece was obviously taken from this story and this movie and whatever. Like, you can take it all apart and realize, like, what it was cribbing from. Everything from character names to a plot twist or whatever. Like, it's all very generic and familiar. It works within the genre, but there's no real seed of anything soulful in it. There was some interview with a director. I'm probably going to just, like, vague post on that one. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. The point is, like, if you're going to create art, and it's going to have a piece of you inside it, it's got to have something to say that is unique to you. And I thought, what would I do for a picture book? And then I realized, like, what if I did a story about, like, the most American little kid ever, right? Like, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, ancestors fought in the Revolution, super American kid, but he also happened to be bilingual, like, fluent in English and Spanish, and whenever, like, but he looked so American that whenever he spoke Spanish to a bunch of Latinos, like, they couldn't hear him in Spanish. Like, they would respond in broken English, like, even though he was very clearly speaking Spanish to them, because his Americanity was just so loud, like, that the way he looked was louder than how he talked. Graham, why would you come up with this idea? Because it has happened to me freaking a lot of times. All right. This is going back years now. This has happened in different kitchens where I deliver, and, hey, commercial kitchens happen to be full of Latinos in just about every state. I know this empirically. I have worked in Kentucky and Utah and Nevada and Louisiana. Louisiana? No, I have not been to Louisiana. Pennsylvania and Oklahoma, and all across the fruited plain, commercial restaurants are staffed pretty much universally, not entirely, but there's always, like, a fair amount of Hispanics working in them, right? Like, it's just a fact of life. And numerous times in numerous states at different restaurants, this is played out, where, I'll walk in and I'll find, like, the manager or the staff or whatever, and I'll say something in Spanish, and they'll reply in accented English, and I have always taken that to mean, okay, like, this person obviously wants to speak to English, or to me in English, and that is fantastic. It's good. Like, I want to encourage that. I'm going for speed, but if this person really is dedicated to working on their English, I'm all for it. And so I'll just never speak Spanish to that individual again. But then there are other staffers, so one of the prep cooks or the dishwasher or whatever that'll see me and say something, and we'll chit chat for something or for a few minutes in Spanish, and then all of a sudden, like, that first guy or that first gal will walk by and be like, "Wait a minute, you speak Spanish?" And I look at him and I'll say, "Yes, I have spoken to you in Spanish." And it just blows their mind, but it's like the way that I look is louder than what I say or how I say it. What would the lesson be of such a picture book? I think that's pretty much it right there. This is probably going to overlap with a lot of things that Tanner Guzzi has said in his book, The Appearance of Power, because he talks a lot about, it's considered unmanly to care how you look. If you put any effort into your wardrobe or your style, then you are gay, which is like a very blue collar way of saying it. But the way that you dress and the way that you groom yourself, it says a lot about you before anybody knows anything else about you. Like we shouldn't judge by the way that people look. You should. In a lot of ways, you should. Maybe don't make absolute judgments, but make assessments. And just understand that oftentimes people are going to be very fixated on what they see from you versus what they hear from you. Good heavens, somebody definitely went off the highway into the mud in a very big truck and tried to come back because the highway is nastified. Anyway, the reason all of this is relevant is because an AI doesn't have your lived experience, and it doesn't have the unique little idiosyncrasies that make you you. It can be a supplemental tool in generating references or referral art, or giving you some bullet points like, okay, well, here's what I've got, here's the story, here's where I want it to go. Can you give me a 500 word like synopsis with an arc, and give me a basic structure to work with for the outline of this story. And then you'd look at it and be like, no, this isn't working here, and here, but I can fix it here, and here. Like, it can be a time saver, but you don't want to try to use it to replace not just the effort, but the very soul of your work. There was some blow up and brouhaha in the last week or two where one of these authors that writes kind of for the Kindle and for the ebook audience got caught with placeholder text in one of her ebooks that somebody realized was an AI prompt that was either sent to like a ghostwriter or an editor or something of that caliber. It said, hey, give me a 3,000 word scene that accomplishes the next 5 bullet points in the plot. And if that's the outline and the writer is then copying and pasting basically chat GPT text and then erasing the prompts as they go, but they missed that one in particular, like you're not creating art at all. You are literally just creating a slop product. Like you are fulfilling numbers, and man, like it seems to me like that would be a fantastic way to lose readers. I've definitely read books by books in a series by an author I've enjoyed where certain installments along the way felt kind of phoned in, and that's not fun for anybody. Like the whole point is to sit there and imbibe something that this person would say that nobody else could. Hey, I want to find I want to enjoy this particular author's words on this particular subject. I don't want it to just be a collection of ideas from a prompt that then accomplishes nothing. So it should be unique to you. Real ambitious creators will have many more ideas that they could ever really carry to fruition. And like your boy Zach was saying yesterday, he did a good bit of commentary on this. Said he's got ideas that he's really excited about, but if he were to try to actually produce a book and bring it to market, he knows that it would only sell like a very limited amount of copies. And if he's going to hire human artists, and even taking the whole like deadline and bad communication and stuff out of the mix, just take the raw cost of it. If he's going to pay an artist and pay all this other stuff, then the book has to sell a certain amount of copies or be listed at a certain price to be financially viable. And he is a publisher. He's got to wear a lot of hats with his particular business model. And these AI tools will enable him to develop and produce those ideas that could reach a niche audience. It will allow him to create more art and save him the time and the cost of producing that, while then he works with human artists on his more elaborate and more broadly popular pieces. I favor a hybrid approach with this tool. I did that video a while back on like the big AI fight with Shadiversity and G Prime 85. And George Alexopoulos is like a super, super hardliner against AI. And he's explained it online several times in such a way that like I 100% understand his reasoning. I get it. He's at the same time like he's a little bit too much of a hardliner to where like if you use any AI at all in any of your creation, like your whole catalog is dead to him. Like, okay, I understand his personal standard on that. It is what it is. People are going to have their own takes on it. I don't think anything George does could dissuade me from being a fan of his artwork, just because he's so massively talented on the technical side, and the seeds of the ideas that he has manifest so incredibly well in the idea phase. It's just I'm kind of mumbling now, but you get it. Like he can do the technical stuff, but his ideas are just so excellent and so well executed that there's a reason he's the one artist that I'm subscribed to on X. Like I paid $5 a month, and he doesn't even really generate a whole lot of like subscription based content. I just love what he does, and I want to do what I can to fund it so that he can afford to make more of it. In summary, artists have to have a soul. AI art cannot replace that soul. There are going to be artists that can use AI as a supplemental tool to create more art. There are going to be other artists who are absolute hardliners against it. That's fine. Like we've got a variety of options available to us as creators and as consumers. And I think we're just seeing a sea change in the technology and in the methodology. But as always, like the cream is going to rise to the top. And it'll just be interesting to see how it plays out from here. Anyway, speaking of art, I'm at the comic book store. Sorry about that. It is New Comic Book Day, and I think I've only got one. So maybe I'll go peruse the shelves and see if I can pick up two. Anyway, drive safe. See you out there.